Welcome, you guys. Welcome to Heart Health Month. How y'all doing?
Good.
Coach Kevin, you remember me, right?
Nice.
Always here. So, part of my initiative this year, and part of it for Heart Health Month, is to discuss nutrition and how nutrition plays into a healthy us, right? So, who here understands nutrition as it pertains to your healthy heart? Well, you do. Oh, good. So we're going to give you a few tips and a few tricks today when you're cooking for a healthy heart, and products to use that are good for you for a healthy heart. So in the United States, we're pretty carb-centric. Do you think you personally eat more protein or more carbohydrates and healthy fats?
Carbs.
More carbs. What do you like for carbs? Bread? Pasta?
I eat a whole lot of
Sugar? Yeah? So you like processed things. So carbohydrates kind of have gotten a bad name. It's the type of carbohydrate that you want to eat. You want to eat a good carb or a complex carb. Do you know what those are?
No.
Complex carbs would be sweet potato, brown rice, anything that you digest or you eat and digest slowly and enters our bloodstream slowly. Anything with high fiber. What do you think is a simple carb or a non-healthy carb? Processed sugar, Coca-Cola, sweets, donuts. Oh, I love donuts. Right? And those enter our bloodstream quick. So it really fluctuates our blood sugar levels. Whole goal is to keep our blood sugar level stable, right? If we eat something that's high in sugar, processed sugar, what happens to our blood sugar? Goes up. And then what happens to our blood sugar? Comes down, right? And that constant up and down is what's really hard on this body, on our eyes, on our organs, all the different things. So one of the things that we want to address is, how do we eat healthy for this thing or for this thing? It's all connected together. So we're eating healthy for the heart, but it's for the entire body, right? So I used to be a chef by nature, by 30 years ago, or for 30 years. And so I used to cook unhealthy for people, because everybody loves fat, sugar, salt, all the things that taste good, right? So I've created some different recipes, and throughout this year, we're going to be doing some nutrition hacks and nutrition classes with Coach Kevin, and cooking classes. Majority of people have the hardest time on understanding how to take care of this body by what they eat. 80% of what we do here really concerns us with what we eat. We can all move. 20% is movement. We can all move. We know that moving and walking and working out is good for us. But most of us struggle with, how do I feed this body? I'm having a little bit of problems with high cholesterol. What do I need to do to help my cholesterol? Or I'm having a little problem with my good cholesterol. It's super low, and I, as a guy, need to have that high or that good cholesterol raised. What do I need to eat? We can eat good stuff to help us and help this body. So this particular recipe is really protein centric. Even though it's a salad, I've created a recipe that has a lot of different sources of protein in it, because we don't get enough protein in this country. We eat a lot of carbohydrates. So, do you know how much protein you personally should be eating, typically in grams a day?
Body weight.
Body weight. Yeah. Do you think that's like, for you, $180?
175.
I was close. So 175. So how many grams of protein should you be eating?
175.
175. Yeah. So do you know what a typical chicken breast, a 4-ounce chicken breast, has in it for protein grams? About 30 grams. 25 to 30 grams, depending on the size, 4 ounces. Do you know what a typical protein portion size is for the average person? You can do it easily. Look at the inside of the palm of your hand. That's about 4 ounces. We should be eating, every time we eat, about 4 ounces of protein. So if we're gonna get 175 grams of protein in a day, how many chicken breasts do we need? I'm not very good at math, but
7 to 8.
5, 6.
yeah, 5 to 6, depending upon what size they are. So I'm gonna show you how to bring in some more protein into a recipe and then use the same ingredients and make the recipe 3 different ways so you don't get bored, because meal prepping is gonna be difficult if you haven't ever done it before. So this is a great way to meal prep a couple different things with the same ingredients. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. So we're gonna make a salad today. We're gonna make a Southwestern chicken salad with amaranth. Have you ever heard of what amaranth is? Do you guys know what it is? It's an ancient grain. It's a non-inflammatory ancient grain. You ever heard of quinoa? Kind of the hot thing right now. Quinoa is the hot thing in the last 5-10 years. It's related to quinoa. So it's also an ancient grain, high in protein and plant-based protein. So in this particular salad, I have animal-based protein. So we're gonna have chicken, we're gonna have cooked chicken in it. I'm also gonna have plant-based protein by bringing in the amaranth, which is an ancient grain. It's a non-inflammatory grain. Most of the diseases that we struggle with in the United States are caused from inflammation. So inflammation comes from typically what we eat or the environments that we're around. So if we're using toxic chemicals, they can create inflammation in the body. But if we're eating the wrong types of food, that also can increase inflammation in the body, which diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, all the things that we struggle with, and we actually, a lot of our population passes away with, is caused from inflammation. So this is a very low inflammation recipe. We do have one ingredient, and I'll talk about it as I get closer to it, that is considered an inflammatory ingredient, but if we use it in small quantities, we can eat it. So, amaranth, it's an ancient grain. It looks like this. You can get it at almost all grocery stores. We happen to be at Whole Foods when we picked this up. I actually boiled this. You can bake with this. We can put this in baked goods. So if you're doing, non-GMO, non-wheat flour, if you're using rice flour, you can throw this in there. It's excellent for you. It's great. It's high in protein, high in fiber, so it's a great source of fiber. We need fiber in our diet. What comes in should come out, and it should come out within 24 hours. But it doesn't always happen in the United States because we process everything so it gets like stuck like glue inside of us, and that's where we get sick, especially in the lower half of our body. So what do we have in here? We have amaranth, we have spring mix. The darker the green, the better it is for you. Who likes dark greens like spinach, collard greens, fresh greens? Iceberg lettuce is great because it has a crunch to it, but there's actually no nutritional value in it. So if you like a crunchy lettuce, use romaine. It's crunchy, but it does have some nutritional value in it because it's a nice dark lettuce, all right? So the darker the green, the better it is for us. We're gonna have black beans. Who eats lots of beans? And we're in the South, so we should be eating beans, right? Right? So beans, if you're gonna eat beans, black beans are one of the best ones to eat for you. But this happens to be canned beans. We get a lot of sodium in our diet naturally. When they can beans or can anything similar to that, they put a lot of sodium in it. So when I open my beans, I rinse them off with cold water. We don't need the extra salt. We get enough salt. High blood pressure, heart disease, salt is a nemesis for that, okay? So we want to reduce the amount of salt that we get in our diet. We're going to use a canned product like black beans or corn. There's salt in there. I want you to rinse it off. It's super easy. It takes 2 seconds. You just need a strainer. We have corn. So this is one of the products that's actually a little bit of an inflammatory product. It's actually not a great food for us. There's not a whole lot of nutritional value. It's high calorie food with very little nutritional value to it. It's also an inflammatory food. But if you're trying to eat gluten-free, corn tortillas are great, but it's the amount that we eat. We usually eat too big of portion sizes here in the United States, but if we're having just a little bit is okay. It's when we overdo it, we overindulge, and that's the only vegetable, it's not really a vegetable, that's the only vegetable that we'll eat is corn, and we eat a lot of it. Really not great for us. You can tell that it's not a super good food for us because the body has a very hard time digesting it. Right? So we know it's not super good for us, but that flavor is good, and so I put a little bit in this Southwestern salad today so that you could have color. Bell peppers. Who likes peppers? Yes, Peppers are great for you. If you notice, I cook with a lot of color. If you're eating a plate of food and you look at your plate, if you want to know if you're eating healthy, is it colorful? Does it jump off the plate? Does it look nice and bright? Or is it white? I'm from Minnesota and we love our Swedish meatballs, gravy, bread, potatoes. If that plate isn't all white, we know that's probably not super healthy for us, right? Doesn't mean it's terrible. Now, potatoes get a bad rap. It's what we do, what we add to the potatoes, and the volume of potatoes that we eat. So potatoes are actually a nutritious food for us. We just need to eat them in the right way, not with sour cream and butter and all that fun stuff. But we also need to decrease the volume. So when we get those potatoes at Thanksgiving and we just pile them on, I mean, it's fun to pile them on. We need to take that portion size and probably divide it into 4s and eat 1/4 of it. Should be about a half a cup of potatoes or a half a cup of rice. You know what a half a cup looks like? See that tablespoon there? That's a half a cup is 4 tablespoons. Yeah, that's what you should be eating. So, not very much. A full cup is 8 tablespoons. So 1 stick of butter or a half a stick of butter. So we eat pretty big portion sizes in the United States, and if we would just take and cut what we eat in half, we would actually lose weight because we're eating less calories. All right, so then we're gonna bring in peppers. We're gonna bring in avocado. Who likes avocado here? Who likes guacamole or fresh avocados? What do you think avocados are high in?
Good. Fat. Good fat.
Healthy fat, right? So we want healthy fat. This heart needs healthy fat. This brain needs healthy fat, and our skin needs healthy fat. Our stomach is the second brain, and so when we treat our stomach well, we think better. We do. It's true. All right. So we want to bring in some healthy fat. So I brought in avocados. In addition, it is actually a higher in protein vegetable as well. But it's great, and you can use it in place of sour cream, mayonnaise. You could make a salad, like a mayonnaise type salad with avocado. Just puree it instead. Same texture, same richness. I have sweet onion in here, and I'm using actually sweet onion, Vidalia onion versus red onion. It's not quite as pungent as a red onion, and so that's why I chose it for this particular recipe. I have fresh cilantro. Who likes cilantro? Awesome. Either people really like cilantro or they don't. Do you know why you wouldn't like cilantro if you don't like cilantro? It's a chemical reaction with your chemical makeup in your body, and everybody that doesn't like it will tell you that it tastes like dishwater. I don't know how they know what dishwater tastes like, but they'll say it tastes like dishwater. But either you like it or you don't. It's a healthy green. It's a nice dark green. Brings in a bright, fresh flavor. So I use it quite a bit in a lot of the recipes that I create. And the last thing I'm bringing in is your salt and pepper to taste. I like to use just plain cracked black pepper. And this one is actually kosher salt or sea salt. You can use sea salt. And the things that you can add to this recipe that are your choices to add are diced tomatoes. I like to use the cherry tomatoes. I use organic. I would recommend buying organic. I know it can be very expensive, but whatever you can do, you should do. If you can only buy tomatoes that are organic, buy tomatoes. Whatever, a little bit is better than nothing, right? So go ahead and buy it. And then sliced jalapenos. Who likes jalapenos here? I got a little jalapeno. Who likes really hot jalapenos? I got a little jalapeno buying tip. You like hot jalapenos? You know how to buy a jalapeno if you want it hot? Have you ever seen those jalapenos that have the gray or the brown streaks, lines on them? Most people avoid that. Those are the hot jalapenos. So if you're looking for hot ones, that's the one to get. The pretty all green one that looks like a nice green bell pepper, those aren't quite as hot. You know why they're hotter and why you can tell they're hotter? They've been on the vine longer, they've been on the plant longer, and so the oils are more concentrated from the sun. And so when you see those lines on the pepper, that means they're older, so they're a little stronger. So if you want a hot jalapeno, that's what you should do, all right? And the last thing that we're gonna show you is dressing. Who here makes their own salad dressings? Who thinks they're too complicated to make? Actually, they're super easy. They consist of 3 main ingredients. Oil, a healthy fat. They consist of acid, either vinegar or citrus, and I'm gonna show you with citrus what we do instead of vinegar. And they consider, the last thing is a flavoring agent. So the last thing that I threw in here is cilantro, or you can add jalapeno to it, but I didn't for this group because I have to cook for the masses, so I don't know who likes hot and who doesn't. So I left it out, but you can add jalapeno or any flavoring agent, orange, whatever. Today I'm showing you lime, so I have fresh lime juice in here. Like I said, I'm a one-man band here, so I try to do things as fast or as efficient as possible. So normally I would squeeze fresh lime in here, but I bought the pre-done lime juice, and it's organic, but I bought the pre-done lime juice. And the same with the pre-cooked chicken. I bought pre-cooked chicken for our team here. That way I can do it quicker and faster and more efficient for you. So for the dressing, super easy. So we've got lime juice, I've got fresh olive oil. If you look at that 3rd page, you'll have a description of the key ingredients that I'm using for Heart Health Month. Olive oil, because it's a healthy fat. What does it do for us? What does it look like? How do I buy it? What are some of the tips and tricks about olive oil? The other thing I brought in was Greek yogurt. Who here likes yogurt? All right, so I brought in an organic Stonyfield yogurt. 1 or 2/3 of a cup here are 18 grams of protein. So if you're gonna start out your day with needing protein, and I recommend having protein with every meal, this is a great way to get a nice big pack of protein and simple. And what do you think protein does for us?
It's good for your stomach.
Yeah, well, it keeps your stomach full longer, so we don't get as hungry and grab those carbs because we have our tummy is digesting this protein slower. It takes a little longer to digest the protein. And what else does it do? It increases body or muscle weight and decreases fat.
So like this
Body.
protein.
Yeah, that's whey protein. You're drinking whey protein, right? So that will help you to increase body muscle strength or muscle mass and decrease body fat. So we're too carb centric, and carb centric increases what? Body fat, right? So we really want to figure out how to eat healthy proteins with healthy fats and good carbohydrates. Fruits and vegetables, so I have fruit up here, and I want you guys to take a piece of fruit with you too. This is a carbohydrate, but this is a healthy carbohydrate. Now, just like anything, it's got calories in it, and it's all about how many calories we have inside, we put inside, and how many calories we spend. So we don't want to eat, in one day, 6 bananas. They're high in carbohydrates, and they're high in sugar, natural sugar, but they're high. So we want to keep it, even keel. And try to eat our fruit that's higher on the glycemic index in the morning so that you have time to waste or spend that energy within the body in the afternoon and evening. So any questions? So I'm gonna go back to the dressing. Yeah. Oh, all over the board. I know that, but I'm gonna go back to the dressing. So there's olive oil, healthy fat. There's Greek yogurt in here. There's cilantro, that's our flavoring agent. And we have our acid, which is also our flavoring agent, the lime juice, okay? And then I added salt, this salt. I added black pepper, ground black pepper, cumin. Do you guys like cumin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a southern spice, pretty bright and bright. And then fresh garlic. And so usually I use fresh garlic, but I'm cheating this right along, so I use granulated garlic. Throw it in here. Pulse it a few times, and boom, your dressing is done. You can save this dressing in the refrigerator because it has yogurt in it for up to 7 days in the fridge. After 7 days, I get rid of it. If it didn't have yogurt in it and it just had the fresh ingredients, because you can make it without that, you could save it for over a week as long as it's refrigerated. Yeah? All right, so I'm gonna pour this dressing in the salad, and then you guys can come on up and grab a salad.
All right.
Now, this dressing can be used as a marinade too because we have acidity in it. So if you're doing a skirt steak or you want to do a sirloin steak on the grill and you want a little flavor to it and you want to tenderize it a little bit, go ahead and pound that steak out, add this dressing to it, and then go ahead and grill it. You can either leave the yogurt in it or take it out. Pretty cool, right? So, what else can we do with this particular recipe? So I showed you the amaranth. The cooked amaranth looks just like this. Kind of looks like brown sugar, doesn't it? So when you taste this, there's amaranth. I put amaranth in it, but you can make a hot dish or a casserole dish out of all these ingredients. Take your 13x9 cake pan, throw this cooked amaranth on the bottom. It replaces a rice or a potato. Throw it on the bottom of that. Throw your chicken on top. Throw all the toppings that you want on top. And just a little bit of white cheese, like a cheddar cheese or a cojita cheese or a Chihuahua cheese, something from the south. And then throw it in your 350-degree oven for 45 minutes till it gets nice, hot, and bubbly. Take it out, throw some more cilantro on top, and wham. You got a hot version of this. So now we have a cold salad, we have a hot dinner. What can we do besides that? What do you think we could do with all these ingredients and the dressing besides that? You could make tacos. You could take a flour tortilla or a corn tortilla, add the amaranth on the bottom, or take an avocado, smear the avocado, squish it on the bottom of the tortilla, put all the ingredients you want in there. You can either put the dressing on it or put it on the side, and that can be your lunch for the next day at lunch. So 3 ways to make this recipe simple, interchangeable, using all the ingredients over 3 days. Pretty cool, right? Awesome. All right, you guys come on up and get some fresh salad. I'm gonna toss it here.
So this, you got all this in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I just did it ahead of time. So it's easy. Pretty cool, right? Here, you guys start on this one. Go ahead. You want to go on this side?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta get my program down here.
Yours looks better over there.
This one?
Yeah, that one looks better.
Well, see, it's just I stirred that
Oh,
one
he
up.
ain't put the, he stirred it in.
I'm not coming to that side. I know it. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
We did it.